Hey everyone, welcome into another episode of Engineering Culture, a special episode of Engineering Culture for me, I guess, because I like basketball. And my guests on this episode is Mitch Hahn and Dylan Travis, who are two of 16 players that are invited to the USA men's basketball 3x3 men's national team camp, which is preparing them for potentially a spot on the U.S. Olympic team in 2024, which would be super cool. Because I'm pretty sure Nebraska has never had anyone that has been on a Olympic team in basketball.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Any way you slice it, basketball.
Yeah.
So my question, I guess, is what is 3x3? And it has blown up globally, not quite so much in the States yet, but globally it's a huge deal. So either one of you want to take that and kind of answer that question, is explain it for the people that maybe don't know.
Yeah. Well, it's a half court game, you know, compared to two halves and 5-on-5, and the game doesn't stop. So the ball goes through the hoop, and there's
rebound.
there's no recheck. It's just get the rebound, throw it out beyond the 3-point line, and you're live again. Yeah. Until there's a foul or ref does something. So it's very fast paced compared to like some 5-on-5 games, and it's a 10-minute game. It's like everyone says, it's a 10-minute sprint, and it's the game starts and it's you're as tired as you've ever been after the 10 minutes or when you get to 21 points. So it's a way different game, but it's also basketball. So it's fun to play and participate in and see what's what else is out there other than 5-on-5.
Yeah, Dylan, you had the experience of being on the World Cup team that got a silver medal, playing with Hurrdat and other guys, obviously, but Jimmer's the big name, right? He's kind of killing it. I guess this is like 3x3 is like, if you've seen Hurrdat play, this is like ideal for him.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, he's a great player. He had a really good year this year for us, and I learned a ton from him. And yeah, the World Cup was great. We were centimeter away from probably winning gold. He had a 3-pointer at the end to win it against Serbia. Fell short, but we bounced back. We won gold at the Pan Am Games, and we had a good year on tour. The way 3x3 works, there's tournaments all around the world.
Yeah, explain that for me, because it's like I said, it's blown up globally, but like not so much here. But there are tournaments everywhere, and you guys play all over the world.
Yeah, so it's like a circuit. It's a world tour. There's different levels. At the highest level, there's master tournaments. That's where you win the most money and you get the most amount of points. Then under that, there's challengers. If you finish top 3 in the challenger, you make a masters. Under that, there's like satellite tournaments like Super Quest that can go to a challenger or a master. So depending on how you do, if you win tournaments or if you have the money as a team to buy into tournaments, you can play in the world tour. And once you're on the tour, you play in 9-10 masters events. You bounce from Asia to Europe to Middle East.
Wow.
In super cool locations in the middle of a city center. 2, 3, 4,000 people watching him play. Or we played in Cebu, Philippines, in the middle of a mall. And, so it's just really cool like venues. And a lot of these cities have like tourist budgets, so they put it on for the town, and they'll partner it with like a live DJ and like bring music in, or like an art festival, or
build something around
stuff.
it.
Yeah, so it's like a whole like
festival.
Family. Yeah, it's like a festival. So it's a cool deal, and like you said with Jimmer, I was blessed to get the USA offer this year to play on their team, so it was good.
So it's like Hoop It Up, but like not little kids running around playing basketball. Basically, yeah. I mean, if you remember what Hoop It Up was, I don't remember what it was, but
just no checkups. That's it's so much harder. It's so much harder because it's just fast paced, like Mitch was saying.
Yeah, you just got to keep playing over and over.
Yeah, 12-second shot clock. Play to 21, 1s and 2s.
Why Nebraska? Because if you look at the 16 national team camp participants, 5 are from Nebraska, right? Or have ties. Trey Bardsley's one. And people remember that name. I mean, all he did was score a zillion points at Nebraska Wesleyan.
Legend.
Yeah. And then you two, who am I missing? James Parrott. Yeah. Who he gets lost in the shuffle as far as good players. from Nebraska and talked about it a little bit just because we talked before this about he was a late bloomer and ended up on that really good Midland team that you were on, Dylan. But James is another really athletic guy. But why Nebraska? How did it catch on so much as to where there's, 4 people that graduate high school from Nebraska in getting invited to this? That's pretty crazy if you think about it, of the 16.
Yeah, I mean, I think the first thing is that like a guy named Michael Ranovich put on like a little training camp thing, kind of like USA is, but like just in Omaha.
Oh, nice.
And I think that kind of was the start of Nebraska players getting introduced into 3-on-3, and then like Nebraska, like and especially like Omaha, like guys love to hoop, and any chance they can get to go play basketball, they're going to do it. And so I think with 3-on-3, if it's picking up now with a lot of high school guys, but a lot of guys were underrated in high school, even in college, and this is like another chance to like prove that they're worth, basketball, and I think that shows with 3-on-3.
Yeah, even guys like Malik Hulucheweki, we talked about, he's playing all over the world every weekend. He feels like he's in a different part of the world playing. It's just it's a neat kind of thing if you really dig down a little bit. Like I said, there's this, it's Omaha, right? But we have these people that are vying to make the Olympic team and playing all over the world in this sport that is huge globally, just not quite here yet, which probably eventually is coming.
Yeah, it's a good way to, like, me and Mitch both played 5-on-5 professionally overseas after college, and like we both kind of got introduced to 3x3 through different routes. Like for me, COVID shut down my season in Australia in 2020, and then Trey Barsley got me into it. And it's just a good way for us to like still play around the world, see different parts of the world, play for good money, but you don't have to be gone for 9-10 months straight. So it's kind of like the perfect balance.
Or sharing a 1-bedroom apartment with someone you don't know.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Like the stories are wild about like get paid whatever. Yeah, it's just really bad apartments and stuff like that.
My Wi-Fi didn't even work in Germany my first like 4 months.
Oh really?
Most sport I've ever been in my life.
Yeah, that's crazy. Trey is Trey Bardsley, if you don't know, like look up what he did because he killed it at Wesleyan. He's now coaching. He's an assistant coach at Auburn High School and a teacher in Auburn, and he's like invited to the training camp. Like that's a pretty cool story if you think about it. And then you guys have a cool story. You all coach high school basketball. You're currently coaching. You help Westside. You coach at Heelan and Sioux City with your brother. Like it all kind of comes back to coaching and kind of helping out, or is it just like I need something to do?
Well, I mean, it's unfortunately like for United States players, like there is no like money really behind it,
right?
So like if we have someone that can help us get to tournaments, like do our normal 9 to 5 and go play, but like every other country, it's like going overseas and playing. It's like professional sports, they got a sponsor and it's their job, 2 practices a day. So, I mean, like I like coaching. I know Trey likes coaching, and Dylan was coaching me before he got that call up to USA Basketball, and like it's a good way to stay around basketball, and so is 3-on-3. It's just kind of like the perfect balance.
What would it mean for you guys to make the Olympic team? Because that's the ultimate like prize, right? What would it mean if you were one of the 4 guys that made it or whatever? 4 guys make it, right? On the team?
Yeah, 4 and then a couple alternates.
Yeah,
it'd be a big time. Obviously, a dream come true to wear USA across your chest at the Olympics, the highest stage. And like for me, I was on the Tokyo training camp 4 years ago, and didn't make the team, so it's like come full circle for me. Like back then, I had only played in a couple local tournaments, and then now I've been on the world tour and was offered the USA contract. So like, it'd be cool to see it come full circle for me and make that team. So yeah, we'll see what happens this weekend.
What about you, Mitch?
Yeah, I mean the same thing, like wearing USA across the chest. Yeah, and it's the Olympics. Like every time someone talks about it, it's like that's it. Like even NBA guys say like the dream is to play in the Olympics. So like it's something that you can take with you the rest of your life, no matter what else you do in basketball. But also it's just another chance to play and to prove that you can play at the highest level, no matter who you are.
Is that so? I know I saw both of you play in high school. old now. Like, now that I think about it, I'm like, holy cow. But is it something you guys played with a chip on your shoulder? Like you just did, like Gross and Fremont. We're not talking about, you're not going to Bell West or whatever, like on the top, the teams that are traditional powers in high school. But you both were awesome players, and then you had great college careers. Is that chip on your shoulder still there even now? Like when you work out and play? And what is that, the motivation that you have, or what is it?
I mean, for me, like I just love playing basketball. Like that's first and foremost,
Right.
but also like you said, we've been counted out probably our whole lives in terms of where you come from, and like where you went to school, and middle of the United States. Like it's just not somewhere people really expect you to shine from. So yeah, I mean, especially when you're playing teams, and from Serbia, from Belgium, from France, like it's. They don't really know where you're from, and so you're going there to kind of show them, like we can hoop too, no matter whether we're farm boys or not. Even though obviously we know Omaha isn't farm, but like, that's what everyone else thinks, that we don't really know what we're doing, and that's how I take it. Just go out there and play the game I love, and show them that we're good at it too.
Yeah. Fremont might be a little more farm than South Omaha, where you come from.
Just a bit. Just a bit.
Like playing at Gross. Like, you were the man.
Yeah.
Like at Gross. And now, same kind of question.
Right. Yeah. It's like, well, going back to Gross, like I ended my senior year, first team super state with all the Class A guys. My highest offer was to Midland, so it's like I always felt like I was underlooked, undervalued, and I've always had that chip on my shoulder, like averaged however many I did playing Class B, but everyone was like, he wouldn't do that Class A, so it's like I've always had that chip on my shoulder. And then going to college, Midland didn't work out, go to Florida Southern, win a national championship, All-American, do well, and then overseas gets cut short because of COVID, and then now 3x3, like I said, like first go around with the training camp in Tokyo, didn't make the team, first few national team events for 3x3, like never got a call, so like I just stayed patient, and like you said, had the chip on my shoulder and just kept working, and finally got the call, and we'll see what happens now.
So you're, Dylan, the reason why Florida Southern is now like a hotbed for like Nebraska kids going to play Division II.
Yeah, I kind of. No, I mean, like, I guess I kind of started. I paved the way.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying.
Because I coached Jaden.
Two guys on team now.
Yeah,
Jaden's
I
there,
coached
Cole's
Jaden.
there.
I got helped Jaden get down there after UNO, and then know Cole, who knows Jaden, who knows me, and yeah.
And now like Max Polka's in that same league at Florida Tech or something.
Florida Tech, yeah.
Like it's people coming in, grabbing guys. Yeah.
I have good. The coach I played for my junior year, who won the national championships at Tampa, and then the coach I played for my senior year, still at Florida Southern. So if I see good talent in Omaha, like I always
throw it out there.
Like, yo, coach, you need someone. Here's his highlights. Blah blah blah. So that's what happened.
But that's how it works.
Yeah,
like that's how it works for dudes around here, right? I mean, it's awesome. Like hey, more opportunities the better.
For sure.
We'll finish up maybe on this, and this is more of a kind of what I do every day and see every day is why is Omaha or Nebraska, like, we got a lot of good basketball players here, but there's only 1.9 million people that live here. It's underappreciated nationally for sure. What makes us different or sets us apart where we can have guys like, I mean, look at Chucky Hepburn, Hunter Salas killing it at Wake Forest now. Like, we have guys like that, but even at lower levels, like guys are really being successful in the D2 level, the NAIA level, even Summit League guys like William Kyle's killing it. You had a great career at Omaha, Mitch. Like, what makes it different here? Why are we so good? Like, why do we produce all these players for, farm country?
Yeah, and
in air quotes, I said that.
Yeah, I think the same chip on your shoulder we play with is what a lot of guys from Nebraska play with. I mean, I remember, and I know Dylan was just a tad bit older, but like no one was getting looked at back then. I mean, I know when Okoye was getting looked at, it was like the biggest thing on earth.
Yeah.
Here, and now it's starting to get a little more normal for guys to get looked at, but I think it's a good mix of like where a lot of Nebraska players are like, we're like friends, we know each other. but also the mix of like, I want to be better than you.
Right.
And I think that helps us continue to get better. And then wherever we go, it just kind of puts us above everybody else because we already work hard enough as it is. It's not, I don't think it's a work ethic thing. I think it's just an eyes if we get seen or not. And when given the opportunity, I think more times than not, the Nebraska kids show up.
Yeah, for sure. To add to that, I just think the toughness in Omaha and Nebraska as a whole, we just have that compared to maybe other states and cities. We've always had that, and I think as social media kind of increased and guys like you were able to push people's names out there, it helped a ton. The AU scene changed, and we got some shoe deals in Omaha. So I think the talent's always been there. It just, I think the landscape's changed, which has helped a ton. And now you see, I was watching Salas play last night against Duke,
They
so
killed it.
Omaha, Omaha guys and Nebraska guys are starting to make it in college and starting to play overseas and get NBA looks. So it's great to see.
And the more that people do that, have success at that level, then the more it'll just people can keep coming back to the well, right?
Sure.
Like that's kind of like even the Florida Southern thing. Like, oh, hey, all right. Like the more those guys have success, then then it just grows, right?
And like Northwest Missouri State has
Right.
had some Nebraska kids.
West Dreamer right now is playing a ton.
Yeah.
Like, he's been there for 17 years now, but he's playing a ton.
Yeah, and like I know like guys go to the GPAC, and the GPAC is one or two best conference in NAIA, and like all Nebraska kids for the most part, or Iowa
Yeah, like
kids.
Morningside's basically the whole team is from Nebraska.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
they're all
so-
Gretna dudes.
yeah, and Gretna's good. Like,
Yeah,
So
right.
why not take
Well
from,
coached,
Yeah,
yeah.
take from teams who have good players. So it makes sense, and guys just play hard, and I think that translates to the college level.
All right, guys. Well, I want to wish you good luck. I'll be kind of obviously paying attention to what happens this weekend for you guys, and it's super cool to watch you guys represent us. So I hope you know that, and people are rooting for you, and
Appreciate it, Mike.
pretty cool.
Thank you. Thanks
Thanks.
for having us on.